Greetings and felicitations, friends of Roger and his noble gnomes. Were you smart enough to get the broadcast dialing service and you're not quite sure what to do next? Maybe you haven't gotten broadcast dialing service yet and have some questions. Well, you've come to the right place for both questions. I suppose that we should start off with the most obvious question, what is a broadcast dialer? But before I answer that, let me lead off with what a broadcast dialer is not. What our broadcast dialer is not is a sales robo-telemarketer, nor is it a system that is capable of auto-generating phone numbers for dialing. Why did I pick those particular words for that? These are the technical descriptions for illegal robo-dialers used by telemarketers to bother us all. Just as an FYI, you think you hate robocallers? Try having a couple hundred phone lines for them to call in on. We hate them even more than you, so we would never do that to you. What our broadcast dialer is an auto-dialing machine that dials a specific set of pre-authorized phone numbers to give a recorded message to the recipients thereof. In practice, this means that a broadcast dialer is most frequently used to advise residents of emergencies or other issues on the property that they need to be made aware of. This allows management the freedom to be able to get information rapidly to residents in a far more efficient manner than, say, flyers or some such. So now that we know what a broadcast dialer is and is not, let's see how we can use it to help your needs in troubled times, or less troubled times if you wish. Part 1. Getting the info together. Well, let's face it, we're not going to get very far in getting any messages broadcast out to your residents unless we have phone numbers from those residents to be able to do so. First, you'll need to collect the phone numbers for your residents that wish to participate in this communications option. To that end, we do have a specially prepared file that you can put your own header on to distribute to your residents that both explains the use of the system by management and requests requisite information that we need to enter into your broadcast campaign account. Once you have the information returned by your residents, you need to enter them into a spreadsheet program, also known as an app to you younger folk, such as Microsoft Excel or an equivalent. Please bear in mind that our broadcast dialing system uses a .csv file in a very simplified format. One column for an identifier and one column for the phone number. It does not support having two phone numbers in the same line, as it makes for a third column that it will not read. This doesn't mean that you can't have multiple phone numbers for a resident to be called. It merely means that each phone number must have its own line. It's okay if the contact information on the first column remains the same on each line. Do not concern yourself with adding any titles or column headers, as these will simply have to be removed before the file can be used. Please do not use macros, as they are not translatable. If you were unable to save as a .csv file, we can accept .odf and .xlxs, or Excel files, and translate them here. Once we have the necessary info, we can add it into the broadcast campaign for transmission to the members of the list, aka your residents. Part 2. Preparing for your first campaign. First, make a script. Put down in writing what you want to say so that you can get it out as clearly and concisely on the recording as possible. Make sure to give a significant padding of time to any estimated times of restoration of service. See our videos on emergency protocols for the more full explanation on that issue. Remember that you'll likely be under stress when you record this, so having a script will help to keep you on track with what you want to say calmly and effectively to your residents. Speaking of which, controlling your voice to keep any stress out is helpful, as a calm, authoritative, yet relatively soft voice works well in these situations. Second, dial in to the assigned number for your broadcast campaign and follow the prompts to record your message. The 3 currently operational keys available are 1. To edit or record the broadcast message, 2. To start the broadcast campaign, which is normally not needed as campaigns are normally set to automatically trigger a start upon completion of a new recording, 3. To stop the broadcast campaign, such as if you oops and need to do a redo after the broadcast has already begun. Once you've chosen to edit your recording, you will be presented with a different set of prompts for listening, 1, accepting, 2, or changing, your recording to go out to your residents. Now, there is an option 3 for language, but it's normally not used as our clients tend to speak English at the very least, which is a default language anyways. That's it. There ain't no third. You're done. The broadcast campaign should start automatically within a few minutes after it registers the recording change. If, somehow, it doesn't seem to start within 10 minutes, please call in for us to check on its status to set things straight. Now, initially, we set up your account with a limited distribution to you and our management teams to allow for you to practice a bit without getting laughed at by everybody. Once you're happy with your recording and, presumably, your skill with the system, we'll tack on the residents list to send it out officially. Part 3. Idiots who don't answer the phone. A big thing to remember is how many people don't seem to bother to answer a phone call or listen to the message left for them before simply calling back to ask why people are calling. Brilliant, ain't it? But it is true. This means that on average about 30 to 40% of calls that go out will be ignored, then redialed back by the intended recipient to find out why they were called. This can put a bit of a strain on your call volume if you have the lines forwarded, and quite a serious strain on you if you don't. We recommend that you do forward your lines on such occasions. The vast majority of our manufactured community accounts have wisely set their calling plan accounts with sufficient padding to cover this without issue. Just make sure to tell us what broadcast message you sent out so that when those dingbats mean callers do call back, we will have the information to be able to give to them. Part 4. Caveats to emptor. In addition to what I just mentioned, you should be made aware of a few things regarding how our broadcast dialer works. First off, our system is, well, a little antiquated in that it does not utilize text or email for broadcasting any messages. That's why it's cheap. As such, it can be a little slower to recognize the difference between an actual person and a machine, so it can delay for a couple of seconds before starting its recorded message. Our busy little tech gnomes have put in a lot of work on this, so it's gotten down to only a second or 3, but it does remain, so I'm letting you know about it. Epilogue. So, there you have it. A general overview of the broadcast dialing campaign system and how to use it. When to use it, as always, remains up to you. If you have any questions for us on this, please feel free to post this in the comments section below so that other people can take advantage of the answers. Or you can send us an email, or you can call us for more urgent issues. Thank you, and we'll see you in our next exciting episode.